Ladies and gentlemen, people and persons, this is your 30-minute end of pop culture. As you know it, I'm your co-host, Gnarly Quinn, joined by the main man, Matthias, and we would like to welcome you to your weekly pop culture apocalypse. Very interesting one today. Matthias, what do you got?
So I know how we both like to do that, the Mount Rushmore of, whatever. I figured today we'd do the Mount Rushmore of the smartest comic book characters, intelligent-wise, not like powers, like they don't have the power to, like telekinesis or read people's minds. I'm just talking like pure IQ, smarts,
I'm glad you clarified that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I had a really tough time only because obviously you chose to do Marvel, and you said it would be fun if you did Marvel and I did DC, and I thought that would be a really cool concept, really cool idea. We both have two very different Mount Rushmores, and I had a really hard time between Batman, Superman, Martian Manhunter, Wonder Woman, all of those guys because they are really intelligent, absolutely, and especially Martian Manhunter, all of that stuff. But I kind of went a little bit more down to earth on this one a little bit. I mean, obviously, nothing too crazy, but
yeah,
kind of went for some underrated characters a little bit.
Yeah, so I'll let you go first, but I do have what I'm going to do with mine. I'm sure most people probably know the top four who I'm going to pick, but yeah. I have some feats and some skills that I'm going to share of why they're on the Mount Rushmore in the first place. But yeah, you go ahead and go first, kid.
Yeah, well, without further ado, I had listed some honorable mentions. So I'm going to start off with Dr. Will Magnus. He was first introduced, his first appearance was in Showcase number 37 in April of 1962. He holds multiple PhDs. He is considered the primary expert on AI and androids. And his claim to fame was he created the responsometer, which is a device that allowed him to create the Metal Men, which I don't know if you've ever read up on the Metal Men or read a couple comics with them in it. Amazing. Yeah, it's super awesome.
Yes, yeah. I know. Okay.
Yeah.
That is such an underrated comic book. Oh my God.
Yes.
I remember them. Okay.
For those of you who don't know, the responsometer is a device that allowed him to create the Metal Men. It is amazing just because it records a robot's personality and their memories. So if that body dies, it can be transferred into another body. And to make this even more amazing, the device can animate metal. So based off of the metal composition, it can be programmed to determine certain abilities, and it can also develop a consciousness that independently thinks on its own. So if that's not already amazing enough, turning that kind of technology is just fantastic to me. I absolutely love it.
It sounds and like also, I think AI before AI was a thing.
Yeah, but even better, because imagine having... It's just years above what I feel like we can comprehend, honestly. At least as of right now, especially with AI. So yeah, that was a very interesting one. I also think, too, some of his daily struggles, because he does suffer from bipolar disorder. I know a lot of comics, he had claimed that if he is off his meds, he does crazy things, quote unquote. It showcases the daily struggles of people in the world, because a lot of people struggle from
I agree with these comic book characters. I know they're fiction, but some of them are human, and they have issues. They do.
Absolutely.
Like everybody, they have issues.
Absolutely, and that is showcased beautifully, I feel like, personally. My next face that I would like to see on the Mount Rushmore would be the third Robin, Tim Drake. I feel like he's just a little bit underrated. Yeah, so his first appearance was in Batman number 436 in August of 1989. Batman himself has claimed that one day he would surpass Bruce in every skill. I think his training with so many different characters. He is an absolutely skilled martial artist. You got Batman, Nightwing, Batgirl, even Lady Shiva, just to name a few people that has trained him in just martial arts alone. And obviously Batman and Nightwing training him in escapology. He is so skilled in biology, genetics. He even tried to reclone Superboy, and if I remember correctly, successfully. But he was trained in forensics, criminology, acrobatics, stealth, disguise. He is a master tactician and a major strategist. He is so brilliant when it comes to things like that. He even designed Brother Eye, which, if you are not familiar with that, I highly recommend reading into that a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
So he goes solo as Red Robin. I don't know if anybody has read any of the Red Robin stuff. I used to follow that a little bit just because I always liked the storylines. They were pretty good. So I guess in comics you can argue that the only thing that does keep him back was that he wants a personal life. He wants to be a kid. He wants to have fun. He wants to be a human and just enjoy his life. So obviously he's not delving completely deep into most of these things, which is, I understand that. Again, more human qualities rather than complete machine going straight for it every day. The grind doesn't stop. Yeah, he gives himself breaks every now and again, which is nice. Mm-hmm. So the third person that I would like to add onto the Mount Rushmore of some of the most brilliant minds is Cyborg. His first appearance was in DC Comics Presents number 26 in 1980. The reason that he is so brilliant is his ability to tap into any system. And now that he is connected to the internet 24/7, he can literally think of something and already have the answer to it. It doesn't matter what it is. He could have an answer to literally everything. And also his knowledge throughout the world and on topics about the world are just absolutely insane. Imagine thinking of, one of your favorite scientists and having access to every single thing that they had ever studied and every single outcome that they had ever studied. It'd be amazing, absolutely insane. And even before he turned into cyborg, he was always shown to have genius level intellect. The only thing that separated him from his parents, obviously he got that from his parents, is that he didn't want to have a life like his parents because obviously they were always absent for him. They never really showed up whenever he needed them because they were focused on their work. And again, a little bit more human on that side. So I thought that was a little bit more relatable too, but still absolutely brilliant mind, extremely bright character that you would want on any type of team in terms of accessing knowledge and information. Just absolutely insane. So my final character I would like to add onto the Mount Rushmore of the smartest characters in DC. Personally, obviously this is my list for sure, but I would like to add Michael Holt, also known as Mr. Terrific. His first appearance was in Spectre. Yeah, you knew it was coming. Somebody knew it was coming, but yeah, his first appearance was in Spectre Volume 3, number 54 in June of 1997. He is claimed throughout the comic universe as the third smartest person on Earth behind Batman and Lex Luthor, obviously. So this guy is absolutely insanely smart. At the age of 6, he studied Einstein, Bohr, Planck, and Feynman. Just massive works on theoretic physics and advanced sciences. He studied space and time. And if nobody's familiar with those scientists, I highly recommend actually looking them up and seeing their work, like in the real world, in this world. They did absolutely amazing work in understanding physics, quantum theory, and quantum physics and mechanics. It's just absolutely insane. He was studying those guys at age 6, by the way. Before he became a hero, he has 14 PhDs, 2 of which are in engineering and physics, and he also has a massive list of assorted master's degrees and doctorates in law, technology, chemistry, political science, computer science, rocket science, and mathematics. So this guy is just absolutely insane. He is a self-made millionaire. Yeah, self-made millionaire. He created Cyberware, which is a high-tech firm that later became Holt Holdings. That was his thing. Interesting fact, he is the second Mr. Terrific. So he was contemplating some not good things after the death of his older brother, who was mentally handicapped. And then his wife and unborn child were in a horrible accident, and they had also passed. So during that very dark time in his life, he met the spirit of God's vengeance, aka Spectre, and they told him about Terry Sloan. And he was very inspired by his life story. So he ended up using the name. He joined the Justice Society of America, who he is now the chairman of, among a list of other things, that he is the leader, the chairman, or like knowledge advisors, things like that. So I really think that he's up on the list for sure, absolutely. And yeah, if you're behind Lex and Batman, honestly, I think he might personally, if you take Lex and Batman off the table, and don't get me wrong, Batman is one of the smartest minds. I did not include him in this list only because, yes, he is absolutely intelligent. Like, he can figure out anything in the entire world. Just give him some time and he will figure it out. However, I did like the idea of adding Tim Drake, only because that was kind of like Batman's predecessor. Bit more interesting list, I should say.
I get it's Batman. All right, he doesn't need an introduction. I feel like when we make these lists, it's our own personal preference. So there really is no right or wrong answer.
Oh, heck no.
So that, what'd you say? What, Mr. Terrific, is that his name?
Yes, Michael Holt is his name. His superhero name, it would be Mr. Terrific. Yeah. And I also thought this would be interesting only because with Superman coming up, I wanted to kind of give a little bit more of an introduction into that, because we get to see him on screen in the trailer. I'm hoping that is going to stay, but just in case, I know a lot of people were talking about Mr. Terrific, and for everybody who doesn't know, and including myself, there was a lot of things that I wasn't aware of that he had achieved even before or after he became a superhero. Yeah. It was really cool to start reading up on that a little bit before the movie.
So, like I said, you're the DC kid here. There's two people that you don't have to answer. I'm just going to bring them up. There's two people I'm surprised you didn't mention, and I hope I don't mess up their names, but I'm pretty sure you know who I'm going to talk about. The first one I'm surprised you didn't mention was, I got to think of his name. It's either Professor or Doctor. Is it T.O. Morrow? Is that his name?
I think so. Yeah, it's just T-O-M-A-R-O.
Yeah, like I said, it's your list. I'm just like, I remember these two guys from the show, and I know they were scientists. I can't remember what the heck he did. Yeah. But he was brought up a lot. And then the other one, oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, you're good. I was going to say, the only reason that I didn't pick T.O. Morrow, obviously, supervillain. I strictly went for superheroes, so I wasn't too sure. I was trying to narrow down my list a lot, only because there's like a lot in terms of villainy and superheroes. There is a plethora. I was genuinely surprised because whenever you're reading comics, especially like DC comics, you see the brains, you see the epic battles, you see the amazing fighting skills of all of these characters. But very rarely do you sit down to, pardon me, very rarely do you sit down to actually like think of how smart these characters are.
Yeah.
And once you figure out that list, it's crazy to me. Oh. So yeah, very good mention. I absolutely love, very good mention.
And then the other one I remember, and I think this is the dude that made Red Tornado. Is it Dr. Ivo? Is that his name? Or am I saying that name wrong?
Yeah. Professor Ivo.
Yes. Yep. I think is he the one that made Red Tornado?
Professor Ivo created an android body for Amazo to live forever.
Okay.
Which the body of Red Tornado was believed to be.
Yep.
So yeah.
Amazo was the one who could copy other superpowers, right?
Yes.
Okay, I thought so. If I had a DC list, those are the first two that come to my head that they're not like mainstream enough. But no, good list.
Yes.
I
agree.
And then back to Robin. I feel out of all the Robins, he is not mentioned enough. I feel he has a huge, not just from Batman, but huge shadows from Nightwing, because Tim Drake was the first Robin. And then obviously Jason Todd, because he became, the Red Hood. And then even Damian Wayne, Batman. So I feel Tim Drake he gets overshadowed so easily just for the fact that he doesn't stand out as much as the other Robins or sidekick, not sidekick, partners that Batman's had, and it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, I had a really tough time not including Damian Wayne on here. The only reason that I didn't was because of his massive ego, because he is absolutely brilliant. I mean, this kid should already have been, with PhDs and all of this stuff. However, his ego kind of prevents him from that because he He is smarter than everyone, and especially his age. He is smarter than everyone his age, but he knows it. And that's like his greatest downfall at the moment. He's still a young kid with a massive ego. And just me personally, that's why I kind of left him off the list and put Tim Drake on the list.
No.
Because, yeah, it hands down.
Yeah.
Hands down, much better Robin.
Yeah, I know you're the DC one out of both of us, but I do remember playing the Arkham series on the games, and
yeah,
I feel, and I mean this with the biggest respect, and I do mean this. I feel of all four of those Robins we mentioned, I feel like he's the most loyal. Like, he's least egotistical. He does somewhat follow Batman's orders without being a complete douche and or a-hole.
And if he disagrees, he does it very respectfully. Or he brings up facts and information as to why he disagrees, rather than just saying, no, I don't disagree with you, this is morally wrong.
Yeah.
He will explain to Batman exactly why.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. He's not like, he's probably not the most hand-to-hand out of the four. But like I said, for trust-wise, I mean this respectfully, even above Tim Drake. Or excuse me, Dick.
Damian or Dick?
Nightwing. Like Nightwing. I feel Nightwing is, out of all of them, I feel Nightwing is like the right-hand man for Batman. Like, he is like the number 2 out of the whole group.
Oh, dude. He even took on the mantle of Batman when Bruce was missing.
And I'm not forgetting,
so,
I know before she got hurt, even after she got hurt, Barbara Gordon, Batgirl, and then she became Oracle. I know she's not an idiot either. Yes. I know she's up there with intelligence.
Oh, no. Super, super intelligent. And yeah, it was hard not to add her to the list as well, because she's just absolutely brilliant. And yes, she did, even before then, she used those skills and she used her brains to become Oracle. That's why she's so good at being Oracle.
Yeah, I actually, if you include her, I feel she's neck and neck with Tim Drake for like loyalty wise, like less ego. I do mean that with respect. I know all of them, all the Bat family that we mentioned are spectacular in their own way, but I feel Tim Drake is probably like the most loyal, the most I guess trustworthy is a word I want to use it, but I mean that very delicately, because I'm not saying the other ones are a piece of crap by any means. He's a very good pick. I see why you picked him. That's a good one.
We will be back for part 2 in just a moment. So hang tight, and then Matthias will reveal his Mount Rushmore of the smartest characters.
Hey everyone, we interrupt today's episode just to bring you a small little reminder that if you like what you hear, don't be afraid to share us, comment. We would love to hear what you have to say. I know we're just starting out, but any little thing goes a long way to help us out in the long run, even if it's just the click of a button, click of a like, click of a share, even click of a follow, a subscribe. Anything. It helps us out immensely, and we greatly appreciate those of you who do watch. And even if it's just for one episode, even if it's just for a couple minutes, we really, really appreciate that. If you like us, share, comment, subscribe. I know everyone says it, and we keep beating you over the head with it, but it's important to us. And I hope that it's important to you, too. With that being said, we will bring you back to today's episode. Thank you.
Alrighty, Matthias, it is your turn to reveal your Mount Rushmore for the smartest heroes. Take it away.
Can you remind me what yours were?
Yes, as a recap, I chose Dr. Will Magnus, I chose Tim Drake, Cyborg, and Mr. Terrific.
Okay, that's right. So here's my honorable mention. And I know I'm breaking the rules, but I feel he should at least be mentioned. Honorable mention is Donatello from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I know he's not Marvel, but he's smart. He is. So they say he's the smartest out of the 4 brothers. I feel he's very underrated. People think of Ninja Turtles, they think of the other 3. He has an IQ of 190. I'll just make him a little quick. His IQ 190, and his feats, he built the Shell Razor, which is I'm pretty sure it's like an over-the-top advanced garbage truck, if I remember correctly. That's pretty much like a tank on 4 wheels. And then he created the T-phones. I'm pretty sure I'm thinking he made that retro mutagen. And I can't remember, I should have wrote that down, but I can't remember if that enhances mutagen or if that, tries to cure people. I'm not sure which one's which. But, yeah, he's He's an honorable mention for me.
Absolutely. That's a great honorable mention.
Yes. So my first, I'm going to hop into this. And I know you've probably heard all four of these guys. I'm hoping you have. My first pick is Mr. Reed Richards, a.k.a. Mr. Fantastic of the Fantastic Four. He's the first one on that mountain. He's an IQ of 267. I could write down everything he's good at, but I ran out of, like, ink. I mean, the stuff he does, like, it's crazy. Like astrophysicist, aerospace engineering, electroengineering, mechanical engineering. He's an awesome chemist. There's a theory that says that his powers for his malleability actually, I'm not sure, I hope I say this right, it actually stretches his mind so he thinks smarter than he was before. It's nuts. I know it is. Trust me, it's nuts.
That's crazy.
So I just wrote down a few of his inventions. He invented this thing. It's called the Universal Translator, which is pretty much what it says. He can understand any language in the world, in the galaxy, other dimensions. He made this invention called the anti-proton sling, which blows up planets because he doesn't mess around.
Oh my God.
And then he has his invention called the bridge. Allows him to observe alternate worlds. It's just his resume is just disgusting. But the only thing about him is he's really linear and critical. So if you kind of hit him with sarcasm, he's gonna take it like literal. You gotta give him a little bit of time. He'll get it. He's automatically he was the first one on the pyramid. Wow, on the mountain. My next pick is Dr. Hank Pym, or Henry Pym, whatever you want to call it. He is one of the founding members of the Avengers. You can call him Ant-Man, Giant Man. I stick to Ant-Man because the movies. Pretty much obviously his most important invention was the Pym particle, which I feel is a very underrated. I don't want to say underrated. It's not like how can I say this? I'll say underrated. Yeah, I feel it's a very underrated invention. It's just how disgustingly awesome it is. The Pym particle allows him to change size. It enables his mass can be shunned or gained from another dimension, which in that movie he went to the quantum realm. And then he could thereby change the size of himself or other objects around him. He has a helmet that allows him to talk to ants or any other insect that has a hive mind like that. He has background in quantum physics and cybernetics. And on that note, he is the one who created Ultron. We all know him pretty well. Like I said, he's another one that I feel he's like that far, like an inch away from Reed for being smartest man.
That's
the thing
right.
about Pym is he's kind of a pessimist. If he can avoid a fight, he can. His girlfriend wife, Janet Van Dyne, Wasp, a.k.a. Wasp, another founding member of the Avengers. I'm going to sound like an idiot, but I can't remember. I'm pretty sure she uses the same Pym particle as he does. Ant-Man, right behind Reed Richards. My third pick kind of doesn't need a roll out the red carpet because he's probably the most well-known on this list. Is Tony Stark, a.k.a. Iron Man, genius, billionaire, philanthropist, blah, 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 yakety, yakety, smile. He has an IQ 270, which only thing bigger than his IQ is his ego. I'm not kidding. He is like I said, he is another founding member of the Avengers, and he's a leader. You could either see him as the original leader or the co-leader of the Avengers up there with Captain America, which that's really good how they do that. Because I feel when it comes to a team like that, you'd want to have like a cooperative leadership. Pretty much like what you've seen like Civil War, like Iron Man can do stuff, Cap can't, and then vice versa. They complete each other pretty good. Tony Stark, he's a prodigy in engineering and mechanical. He graduated from MIT at 17, honors, head of his class.
Whoa.
I think they call it, is it sua cum laude? Is that what they call that? Top of the class? I'm pretty sure. He's on-the-fly thinking. Has helped the Avengers out more times than could be counted. What I like to hear is when they're in a situation, battle, or whatever, even thinking of a plan, it really explains them very well. It's not so much he adapts to the situation as that he makes the situation adapt to him. Because he's just, the way his thinking is just beyond anything. He's famous for the Hulkbuster, which that's pretty much self-explanatory. He actually made a Phoenix Buster armor that defeated her, and that's nothing to laugh at. Phoenix is probably one of the more, I'd say, top 5 most destructive forces in Marvel. I don't know if we talked about the Shi'ar Empire. That's that race that has Gladiator in it. You remember me talking about him? It's like the one Juggernaut came up. He cold cocked him right in the chest, and Juggernaut didn't even flinch, and then he just punched him like 5 miles down the river. Like I said, the MCU pretty much explained him. Honestly, he's probably, between him and Captain America, the MCU probably did the best job of characterizing him. He's number 3 on my list. Number 4, and finally, like I said, this is a tough list, but I try not to overthink it because I wanted to get this. I'll tell you my 4th guy, and then I'll tell you 2 other people that I almost added. My 4th and final guy on the Mount Rushmore of most intelligent people in Marvel is Dr. Bruce Banner, a.k.a. the Incredible Hulk. Has an IQ of 260. All these 4 guys are kind of in the realm of each other. There's a theory about him that I heard a while ago, that when that accident happened, because they say it in that Avengers movie, because him and Tony are talking, and Tony goes like, yada, 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 that much gamma radiation from that explosion should have killed you, and that's true. Mm-hmm. So there's a theory that they think Bruce Banner himself, he's some kind of, like, he's maybe a mutant, like a dormant mutant power, or some kind of inhuman, because it really should have killed him, and they think that gamma explosion, that accident, brought out something that was dormant in him. And that's why it's probably been so damn hard to recreate the Hulk. And we don't know what his limits are. Like, he's literally a really destructive accident that's really hard to recreate. Hulk's actually afraid of Banner between the two, because apparently he can subconsciously control the Hulk. That's why you don't see Hulk kill a lot of people, because that's Bruce telling him, hey, hold up. Let's think about this. He actually self-taught himself that he can't be mind controlled. It's kind of ironic, because you'd figure someone with... It's really hard to control the Hulk, because even Professor X tried to get inside his head, and it damn near drove him nuts, because he got in his head and it's just pure rage and fury. And Professor's like, how the hell do you, like, do this? And even for Bruce Banner, he actually, like I said, he taught himself that it's hard to even mind control Bruce Banner, because he finds ways around, the Hulk. And another feat that I thought was pretty cool about Bruce Banner was just by listening to other languages, he can learn them. Like, if he goes to China and someone, like, he goes like a Chinese scientist, and they start speaking Mandarin, he can damn near pick up how to talk. It's nuts. That's just crazy, some of the stuff these guys can do.
That is crazy.
It is. Now, I should mention these other 2, but I won't get too much into them, that I damn near put on there. I really wanted to put Hank McCoy, a.k.a. Beast from X-Men, and I really wanted to put Spider-Man. It's really tough. Really tough not putting those guys on there.
That's hard.
I kind of don't have an excuse for the Beast. Cool thing about Beast is, if you like the cartoon show, the X-Men cartoon, it shows him perfectly. His name says it all. He is a beast. He's acrobatic as shit. He's super strong, but his mind is what he uses more often. Like, he's disgusting support. He's more support than he is like front line warrior, which that's a good thing. And then for Spider-Man, I really want to put him on there, but I feel he doesn't have the experience the other 4 had, if I could say that respectively.
Yeah. He's still, comparatively speaking, he is still very young.
Yes. I mean, like, he created his own web shooter. The movies kind of get him down packed pretty good. But yeah, that's my list. I know I questioned the hell out of you when you had your list. Is there any questions you got for me, or are you good?
No, dude, you have such a solid list. I do say very solid list. There was a lot of information on there that I hadn't even realized myself about these characters. Just absolutely insane. Great job.
It's nuts. I figured to add their IQ in there.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad you were able to find that.
When we do these, like Mount Rushmore or top 5, my first goal is don't overthink it. Just pick, because there's no right or wrong answers.
Absolutely.
Just pick who you think it is and just do it.
You're a lot like me too, dude, because we will sit and go over. We could debate at least 50 different characters out of 4. You know, we're supposed to be choosing 4, but we have so many different characters on the list too. We like a lot. We do. We really do. Which isn't a bad thing. You know, it's hard to narrow everything down.
It is. That's why, like, when we do this, I try not to overthink it, because I'll just be here for weeks and weeks and weeks and like, I should have picked him. I should have picked him. But
yep. I do the same thing. Great list. Both had some really interesting lists, too. I expected some of us to have, like, some pretty big names on there, but for both of us to have very unique lists, I like it. I like it a lot. Unfortunately, that is all the time that we have for today's episode. Be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and let us know in the comments what would be your Mount Rushmore for the smartest heroes.